Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be a little bit different. I have here a Robinhood recap. I think this is new. I haven't seen it before, and it's a pretty interesting kind of summary of my Robinhood activity for this year, 2020. So let's go into it. I will talk a little bit about Robinhood and the choices I made in this account. So let's get started. Editing the video, I noticed that it was getting pretty long. I will be posting time slots underneath in the description, and YouTube will be picking it up so you guys can scrub in the YouTube player to specific points that you think you'll be interested in listening to. So here it says that I joined December 15, which sounds about right to me. The first couple trades that I did in Robinhood were actually crypto. I didn't have a lot of knowledge with crypto, and I just wanted to kind of dive in a bit. I think I only started with about $100, if not like $200. It wasn't a lot of money. I was just kind of screwing around with crypto, and now I have about $16,000 in Robinhood, so that's pretty huge for me. I mean, starting out at $100 and then now having a $16,000 account and having a $57,000 portfolio in about 2 years is pretty crazy. I wouldn't have thought, starting this journey, starting this account and getting to the place where I am now. It's pretty crazy, which just goes to show you guys that you can start with very little money, and then eventually if you keep at it and you keep investing, you keep putting money into the market, that you're gonna, and as long as you don't make stupid mistakes and you don't get too greedy and you essentially just be smart about the money you put in, you're gonna make a decent amount of money, and you're gonna have a portfolio that's decently big in a couple years. So even if you're starting out now, just know that I started out with $100 to $200 and am now sitting at a pretty hefty portfolio. So yeah, so this is pretty interesting. I don't remember buying this. I think I first started buying things, like I said, crypto was pretty big. And the main reason I started buying crypto, I guess there's two reasons really. So one, a lot of the friends that I talk to that are very close friends, right, that I talk to now, even they are and were very into crypto. So just through word of mouth, I just wanted to try it, right? And the other thing is, it was an asset that you can keep buying into even if the market is closed, because the market doesn't close on crypto. So I found that pretty interesting. Like I said, I've done some mock investing in the past, and I knew that the stock market closed at a certain time, and seeing crypto and the fact that it didn't close, I thought it was a pretty interesting idea. So that's why I started investing in crypto. I, however, don't remember investing in 𝗦𝗨𝗬𝗣𝗢𝗥, but I think this is when I started looking into stocks in on Reddit. And if you guys don't use Reddit, I would say for the most part, don't go onto Reddit, because a lot of people don't really know what they're talking about on Reddit. And I mean, in general, people just don't know what they're talking about the stock market. I really do think that as long as you have your own personal investing style, that you will be able to make money off the market, as long as you're not stupid with your money. But a lot of people, especially Wall Street bets, now, if you want to have a good time, right, go on Reddit and go on Wall Street Bets. I'll put a link in the description. This subreddit is actually pretty funny, and I do use it because it's just really degenerate. It's not a place where you get advice, it's a place where people make really stupid decisions, and you basically laugh at them. I mean, maybe not laugh at them, but you can learn from their mistakes, right? And for the most part, the mistake that they all make is greed. They get too greedy, and they, for the most part, make a lot of money and don't sell. Like that, if you want a big picture view of what the subreddit is, it's essentially people that are inexperienced, that make a lot of money because they put in a lot of money that maybe they even take leverage on. They borrow money, they make a lot of money using borrowed money, and then they just lose it all because they get too greedy, thinking that they are professional investors, and they hold on to the asset that they bought, whether it be options or stock. It's mostly options, and then they lose it all because they are stupid. They don't want to sell when they're winning, and they just lose it all and even go into debt, like I said, because they take money sometimes using leverage, meaning they use borrowed money. It's just a stupid subreddit, and I guess it's a weird tangent here, but if you like learning from other people's mistakes, I recommend that subreddit. Other than that, I mean, if you go on Reddit in general, like our stocks, it's okay. I did see some stocks in there. This is probably one of them that people suggest, and then you kind of look into it and you're like, oh, whatever. But as you can even see here, I didn't buy a lot. My account, like I said, it was either $100 or $200 starting out, and I was primarily just screwing around and seeing how the app worked, essentially. I do want to add that the biggest reason I do use Robinhood over Webull or Vanguard or whatever, is because the app itself is really easy to use, and I don't have time. I don't want me investing to take up too much time, right? Because if you're investing too much time in investing, then that's essentially a second job, right? And then you would have to make enough money to have this second job making equal or more money than you're making at your current job, right? And I just don't really want it to be a second job, to me personally, but you might think differently. And here, I guess this might surprise some people, but I do check my Robinhood account pretty often. I guess here it says that on average I checked it 7 days of the week, meaning I checked it every single day. And yeah, that makes sense. So making videos, I check the account, and I usually start making videos around the weekend. So that would be why I check the app on the weekends. Since the market itself is closed on the weekends, that's the only reason why I would want to look on my accounts on the weekends. Also, if I'm investing in crypto, which currently I am, it's also open on the weekends. So that's why I open the app pretty often. And so if a lot of people might not know this, but I would consider myself a day trader, at least with Robinhood. And you can see here I made a lot of trades. Maybe for a typical day trader, this is pretty low, but for a trader that is a traditional trader, meaning they only buy and hold stuff that they think will be good in the long term, right? They don't necessarily buy something and then sell it the next day or even the same day. This might be high for those people. So I think I'm somewhere in the middle between a day trader and a regular or a traditional trader. But I will also add that I actually got my account restricted this year. It was marked as a day trader because I went over the 3 allowed day trades that Robinhood gives you, and therefore I was not able to do day trading for 3 months at the end of the year, which actually wasn't such a bad thing, because I then switched to a new investment style that I haven't seen anyone do, that has been working out great for me. I mean, I think I made $3,000 in the past 3 months that I probably wouldn't have made if I just did day trading. However, if I didn't get the account banned in a sense or restricted, then the day trades that you see here would have probably been at least 2,000, I think. In summary, I do make a lot of day trades. I'm in this account at least. I have different accounts. If you guys watch my portfolio update videos every week, you can see I have 4 accounts currently that I manage. And for the most part, Robinhood is the only account I do day trades in, and all other accounts are basically traditional buy and hold methods. When I make a video of all the accounts and how much money I make, I think it'll be interesting to see that my Robinhood account doing day trades didn't make me as much money as I thought I would make. I think I made more money in my Vanguard account, and that is the definitely the more traditional account I use. I did do some trades within the year, meaning I did buy and then sell the stock later on in the year, but it wasn't a day trade. It was more of a long-term hold, at least 2 to 3 months, and then selling it to make some profit. So it's to me at least it's kind of interesting because a lot of people do say that buying and holding or the traditional way of investing works better, not only because you get taxed less. If you don't know, you get taxed more if you sell within the year versus buying and holding an asset for a year and then selling it. You have a different rate of being taxed. And as I'm learning now, I also made more money in the account that I did more traditional trades in. So I think that's pretty interesting because I'm not only making more money in the traditional account, but I'm also saving more money with taxes. But I know some people will just not believe that traditional way of investing is decently good and will continue to just day trade blindly and make some decent profit. Like I guess I mean my Robinhood account is no slouch. I did make some money. It's just not as good as my Vanguard account. Anyway, so moving on here. This just shows my bias for Apple. I am. Some people might call me an Apple fanboy, and if you guys do watch the portfolio update videos, I do talk about Apple basically every single week. I do think it is a great company. It's amazing that this year they made a stock split. I think it was 4-1 when it was about $400 or reaching $500. I don't really remember. And this year was pretty great for Apple, or I should say, not even for Apple. Tech in general was pretty great this year because everyone was using electronics. They were stuck at home. People moving remote, they had to buy technology that facilitated their work, right? Meaning they bought new laptops, new tablets, and new gadgets that allowed them to do their job more easily and more enjoyably. But Apple specifically, I mean, they released a new phone, which I personally thought was just okay, right? 5G for me was not a big deal, or and isn't a big deal. And even now, I don't think 5G is like the killer that everyone thinks it's going to be, because 4G for right now is good enough. We don't have any technology right now that requires 5G. And if we can fix the architecture of 4G, meaning like there's some places, I don't know if you guys have traveled, but there's places where you can't even get 4G. And I think that's kind of stupid that they don't just focus on the places that require 4G or that don't have 4G, and instead of moving into 5G. But a recent article came out saying that Apple themselves have been seeing a higher than expected demand for the new iPhone. So that's always great. They also released quite a bit of new tablets. They are still doing their Pro series and they're kind of upgrading their Air series, and they also have smaller mini tablets as well. I'm not sure if that was released this year though. And then the biggest news for this year is that their laptops are switching to their own proprietary, am I saying it right? I'm not exactly sure, but they're making their own custom silicon, meaning that their chips are going to be based off the architecture that they have been designing and been improving on with their iPhones, with their tablets, and with their watches. And if you guys don't know about technology or about these chips, basically, if we take the Apple iPhone chip for the current year, it is ahead of every single Android chip in the market right now, and even the Android chips that are coming out this year or for next year, I guess, for the new phones, they are still not beating Apple's last year chips, or even like not let alone this year, right? They're not even beating last year chips, which means Apple has like a 1 to 2 year lead on their mobile chips. And their Apple Watches, obviously they also use the same silicon, meaning the Apple Watch is probably the fastest and more feature rich wearable in the market right now. And now with the silicon chips going into the laptops, I do see a huge spike in sales. I think we already saw that because they did release it for two of their models. But the fact is, so with their new chips, if the big thing here is that they are reducing the price of their product because they don't have to pay Intel for their CPU, and they also don't have to pay, I don't think it's Nvidia, but some other company for their GPUs. They make one chip themselves that has the CPU and the GPU, and it does seem like they're passing the savings on to the customer because all the computers that they released with their new silicon are cheaper than their previous Intel counterparts. So a lot more people will be inclined to upgrade since the price point is cheaper, and also since they're making their own silicon, and we can see with the track record that they're setting with the iPad, with the iPhone, and with the watch, where they're making pretty big leaps in processing power year over year. We can see or expect that their laptops will see the same gain, which hasn't been the same thing when they were or are using Intel chips, because Intel, again, if you guys don't know, it has been kind of slacking. And if you're buying stock in Intel, I would probably say watch out, because Apple is they already switched some of their computers to their silicon, and they're in the process of switching every other computer in their lineup to their silicon. And Intel hasn't been providing good year over year growth. They've been stagnant. It's so Intel itself, not a good company to invest in, I don't think. And then another company I do invest in because of Apple and because of their silicon, and maybe you've heard of me talking about it, is TSM, which is their fabrication manufacturing contact. Essentially, they use the processes created by TSM, and they make their chips using their processes. And without the TSM processes, I don't think it would be exactly the same year over year increases that we've been seeing from Apple Silicon. So that's also why I invest in TSM and why I love Apple. I think they're undervalued, and even with their services, man. I've been ranting about Apple for like 3 minutes already, and I can keep going on, but I will just end it with, they're even coming out with services, right? So people don't even have to buy their hardware anymore. They can just they can give Apple, like $20 a month for Apple Music and some iCloud storage or whatever, and that's coming every single month. It's crazy. Like, people that doubt Apple, I don't understand why they doubt Apple. This is like, I'm just gonna stop here. I've been talking too much about Apple. This is supposed to be a 2020 recap for my Robinhood account, not a fanboy talking about Apple. Let's go. I think I'm gonna skip this. I don't really see too much information that's useful here. So yeah, I've added 71 companies. I like looking at different companies and just kind of picking and choosing here and there. You might notice that a lot of these companies are tech companies. I am in the tech. I work as a software engineer. I know technology. Obviously, I'm going to invest in stuff that I know. I don't like investing in like pharmaceuticals, for example, because I don't know a lot about pharmaceuticals. The only, I guess, pharmaceutical that I do invest in is CRISPR. And the only reason is because I know about CRISPR. I studied CRISPR, and I have done research on CRISPR for a university. So I know the power that it has and the potential it has. So I'm going to invest in that. But pharmaceuticals and other stuff like that, I don't invest in because I just don't have the knowledge. I might invest here and there, some money, but overall, I don't like doing it because I am not an expert in it, or I'm not someone who is even familiar with those sectors. And here I talked about my crypto experience. I don't invest a lot in crypto, but I invest enough. So to me, crypto is an asset that I think a lot of people are putting too much hope in. So people, like, when I talk to people, right, they primarily think or want crypto to replace the US dollar or just any dollar in general, and being the de facto currency. And well, that's a tall order, I think, but also people like the fact that people won't, or the government in particular, I guess, won't know what you're buying, won't know what you are using your crypto for, because it's all anonymous. And I mean, you can already do that with money, so I don't exactly understand the argument there. The only big argument that I understand and that I like from people that support crypto is the fact that crypto itself, or Bitcoin, if we're talking about a specific coin, it is finite, meaning that you cannot create more Bitcoin. So if you don't know, and I'm a little murky myself, but basically the dollar was or is backed by gold, and I think it was backed. I don't think it currently is backed by gold. And even back in the old days, right? People used metal or gold coins, silver coins, etc., to represent or use as money, and that makes sense because gold, silver, and any precious metal is finite in on Earth, right? We cannot make any more gold, we cannot make any more silver, although we kind of can if you want to get nerdy with some atomic alchemy, if you will. But crypto is another form of gold in the fact that it is finite and you cannot create more of, meaning inflation should be a thing of the past if people do go and make Bitcoin the de facto currency for the country or even for the world, right? Because inflation is basically the act of printing more money, making current money less valuable because then there's more money in circulation. With Bitcoin, you don't get that because you have a finite source of crypto, meaning you can't print or create any more crypto. And the fact that you can't create any more crypto means that people cannot lose value of the crypto they currently hold. Now, I don't know exactly if that will fix it 100%. Like, for example, what if someone hoards all the crypto? Do you make crypto less valuable or more valuable to offset the fact that more people are just holding onto the crypto, and meaning more people are fighting over a smaller amount of crypto? I don't understand. I don't know, but I at least do like the fact that it fights a little bit to prevent inflation. Other than that, I don't really. I mean, it's just hype. Crypto to me is just hype. Right now, if you don't know, it's been going up pretty significantly. I think in the last 2 months or so, it's been up. It's been almost doubling. I think it used to be at about 15,000. Now it's close to 30,000. So it's on the verge of doubling. And I mean, that's good. I do have some money currently in crypto. And I will say that this year I have made some money trading crypto, but I don't think that it's the tech that people think it is. Even now, like, people can send money to people instantly with Zelle, the Cash App, PayPal, and also people can make contactless payments using Apple Pay, Android Pay, and all this stuff. So I think everything that crypto people want crypto to be is already kind of happening, you know, with the things that I've mentioned, but I can't really say too much because I don't know too much. The other thing too is the blockchain. People like the blockchain, and I don't really know much about it, so I can't really talk about it. So I'll move on. So this is pretty cool. I made about $6 in interest. If you don't know, Robinhood gives you like 3%, not 3%, 0.3 APY or whatever, for any money that you're not investing in, which is pretty crap. But I mean, at least you're getting something, right? If you have money lying in your Robinhood account that is not being invested, then you make interest on it. It's essentially a savings account. That's why I put all my money that I am not using on Robinhood, because I'm at least earning interest. And it's a pretty, I'm pretty sure you can find a savings account online that will pay you more. It's just convenient for me because I can just buy whatever company I want and don't have to transfer any money. I also don't like transferring any money out of Robinhood because I heard it kind of screws up your account with your charts. Basically, if you click on the all or the 1 year chart, I forgot which one, probably all, it screws up your chart and it screws up all the statistics for that chart. So I don't want to move any money out if I can avoid it. I also don't use any savings accounts anymore. I used to be big on savings accounts. Even a year ago, I used to have two savings accounts that had pretty high interest rates. But to tell you the truth, I mean, you only beat inflation slightly with interest accounts or interest-based savings accounts. So if they're really good, there hasn't been an interest-based savings account that gives you extraordinary interest rates where you have to have your money in that account. For the most part, if you have money lying around, invest it. There's no savings account that will give you any returns that just average returns on the market will give you. So just put your money in the market. So if you watched my dividend video, I'll put a little card here if you haven't. I think if I remember correctly, I make $181 worth of dividends right now in the companies that I chose to include. So one of the caveats in the video was that I do not include any companies or any stock or any dividends that I am not getting consistently. And now you can see here, these are the dividends that I didn't include. So I would have made 181 plus $50, which is $230, I think, dollars of dividends. And if you didn't watch the video, the reason I didn't include it is because these are not consistent. I'm not going to be getting $50 next year, so I didn't bother including it. And I guess that's it. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. This was a little bit different. I noticed that Robinhood sent me this, and I thought it was pretty cool because it's a summary of everything I did. You guys also got the added bonus of me ranting about Apple, which you're welcome, I guess. I just really love that company. I also kind of ranted a little bit about Bitcoin. So if you wanted my opinion on Bitcoin, there you go. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.